Hey team, welcome to Small Creative Big World. I'm Barb.
And I'm Becky, and this podcast is a space for us to chat about everything being small creators on the internet and occasionally be interviewed about when they wrote a book.
Correct. We are flipping the script today. I am going to interview you, Becky, because somebody wrote a book.
I know, no pressure.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
pressure.
yeah. So we've teased the book a few times on the episode, or no, on the podcast. And maybe it just sounded like hype, and maybe it sounded like you were never going to get the book out. But you have got the book out. It is officially released. It is called Bite Size Creativity. Oh, snapsies!
Hey.
And yeah, we're gonna talk through it because I think it's such it's a really cool title, and B, it's a really cool concept. So, also guys, if you're anything like me, it's a really short book, so you can get through it really, really fast.
That's true. We did like leave that part out. Yes, it's 10,000 words, I believe. Less maybe? Apparently estimated read time is 45 minutes according to word count estimate reader thingy-majiggies. It's designed to be bite-sized. That's the tagline. The reality is I just felt like I could say everything I wanted to say here, and I didn't feel the need to fluff up the book any further.
Incredible, because we don't need another fluffed up book. Because yeah, one of those it could have been a blog post. It basically was a blog post. So guys, we'll link it in the description below. Or just keep listening and you'll find out everything in the book. Okay, so maybe we could have just done an audiobook. Maybe we should have just let you like read it for 45 minutes. That would have been an episode.
That's true. Well, if we're ever short on episodes, you know what to do.
Oh, okay, that's a great idea. Okay. Wait, I actually think you should record an audiobook. Sorry, side tangent. I
That's
think
true.
you
I
should
just never got
record
around to it.
Okay, so we'll be recording an audiobook. It's on the
Nice.
list now. Okay, anyway, sorry, that wasn't the point. Okay, so, right, Becky, you wrote a book. It's called Bite Size Creativity. Can you tell us what Bite Size Creativity is?
Yeah, in a nutshell, it is very self-explanatory. Explanatory. How do you say it?
Explanatory.
Wow, none of what I said. It's very explanatory.
Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory. God. Yeah, bite-sized creativity is essentially breaking down whatever myth we have that in order to be creative, you need to like lock yourself in a cabin and write like your magnum opus and just create this like masterpiece. But actually, you can just break down any form of creativity into like smaller and smaller bits until it's bite-sized, and therefore you can just fit it into your day without having to abandon the world in order to unleash your creative soul.
So is this, okay, so this is basically for those people like me that's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't have time to do X, right? So I don't have time to have a YouTube channel because that requires me to sit down for 4 to 10 hours every week and I just don't have the time. And you're like, wait, but you do, because you're thinking about it as like a 4 hour blocks or something. And actually the reframe is it's bite size. So what does it, okay, so what does that actually mean? What does that look like? What are we saying?
Yeah, it looks like setting aside 30 minutes a day, sometimes even less. In the book, I talk about some examples, like, for example, cooking and how you like plate something like a dish when you present it, like the way you would garnish um your spaghetti with some greens. Some people might oppose that. With chili flakes, or if you're making like mapo tofu or stir fry with some sesame seeds, like that's a form of creativity. If you're arranging your closet a certain way, that's a form of creativity. Like basically you're taking something that has already existed in the world in a certain way and then you put your own spin on it, and that is creativity. So it's kind of debunking what our typical definition of creativity is, and also debunking that you can't do it unless you commit to it full time.
Okay, wait, sorry. There's two things going on in my head now. So
Yep.
I'm like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And you're like, go garnish your spaghetti. Wait, so
Fair.
take me
Fair.
back a step. I think we missed something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And starting a YouTube channel. So essentially, a YouTube channel is a big project. It's writing, researching, scripting, filming the video, editing the video, publishing the thing. And it's such a big task that it feels so intimidating to start. And the bite-sized creativity approach to it would be, well, instead of scripting everything, for the first one, like just turn on the camera and just talk. So it's kind of similar to what we've been saying to people who we chat with in our small creator office hours, which by the way is like a bi-weekly free 1 hour session that we both host in order for us to vent about our creative dilemmas.
Love
But
the plug there. Look, she's plugging a
exactly,
book and she's plugging the office hours. That's how we
doing
do,
my
guys.
job. Doing my job and earning $0 from it.
Facts.
But yeah, it's basically just taking that and just kind of breaking it down. Like, for example, like the book, I could have just locked myself away for 2 months and written like 60,000 words. But I broke it down, and actually how the book came to be was it was first a Substack post, and it was maybe about 800, 1,500 words. And then I realized I had more to say about it. But instead of writing it, like waiting for the whole book to finish before I released it, I actually wrote it one chapter at a time, and I was publishing it kind of one chapter at a time when I was writing it. So I just broke down the book into little blog posts, and that was like the bite-sized approach to it. Was I'm not writing a whole book, I'm just writing a blog post. But like, and I have, I think, like 13 chapters or anything, and also something, and yeah, and 6 of them made it into the book, and they were trimmed really heavily down. But that was the bite-sized approach to the book, was just taking something big and cutting it down.
Okay, so I guess we've kind of heard that principle before of like,
Yeah.
how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, or whatever the saying is, right? So, okay, I want to write a book. Yes, let's do it one bit at a time. But what does that look like in practice then? Like, what does that look like on the day to day? Because again, I could be like, yeah, cool, I need to write 200 words this week or today, or, like if I write 200 words a day, like I'll get, but like, how does that translate practically? Because even then I'm going, oh, I have to spend, 30 minutes, an hour a day writing,
Yeah.
which still feels like a little bit of a heavy lift. So even if I've broken it down,
Yeah.
it still feels a lot.
Yeah. The key is to keep breaking it down until it doesn't feel like a lot. And
Okay.
it will look like ridiculously small, but it would be so ridiculously small that you're like, oh, I can do that. So if like writing a Substack post from scratch every single week, which is what I do,
Yeah.
it's a heavy lift. But what I do is when I have an idea, I write it down, and it's like the topic or the essay title, potentially. That's 5 words. And then whenever I'm like in the train and commuting, then I look at it and I'm like, oh, actually, I thought of like 3 bullet points that this essay could contain. And then I write 3 bullet points, and that's another step. And then when I sit back down at my desk, I'm like, oh, I don't want to write now. I'll just do the outline. So I just make an outline, which is just expanded bullet points. That's another day. And then another day would be like, okay, I never sit down being like, I'm going to write the whole post. I always sit down going like, I'm going to write 1 paragraph. I'll just expand like 1 bullet point. So that's like kind of like the bite-sized approach to it, where it's like, it's so small that it kind of feels like it will feel very, very doable to do it. And this is like the advice I give to like a lot of people when people are like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming to write a blog post. I can only write like 3 sentences. And I'm like, then do 3 sentences. Like that is fine. There are no rules that say like your blog post must be more than 3 sentences. It's a creative practice, and therefore it is as small or as big as you need it to be.
Yes, I get that. I love, because I'm never going to be the person that's going to write a book, let's be honest. But I do want to post weekly. Now, I guess one could question why, and I'm still trying to figure out why, and maybe that's a part of it. But yeah, I am one of those people that would sit down and be like, right, now I need to write something this week, and then try and bash it out and just be like, ugh. But to the point where I don't even want to sit down, right? It feels like such a heavy lift. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. And yes, again, I think there is, half of this is the why, but also just feels like such a heavy lift. But you as a writer don't even do that. So I think there is something around the process as well. So it's potentially 2 parts. We'll see, because maybe if I nail the process, I can nail the other half. And sorry to those that have been listening every week and just hear me say how I don't ever do anything. But okay. Okay, I can see the bite-sized approach. It's not, hey, you need to sit down, it could be, for 30 minutes a day. It's almost like background tasks, right? So if you're standing in a queue and like you've got a few minutes spare, then can you add a couple of things? Or as those thoughts come up, can you just jot them down? And I think this is maybe for my system brain, this is where having a useful system comes up, because I'm like, well, I want to be able to get to that draft easily.
Yeah.
Or it's a notebook, so that you always have a notebook, and we both love field notes, but like you like always have a notebook on you, so you can always go back to that page and then you expand on it at a time. And yes, you might have 15 unfinished things, but at some point they will be good enough for you to finish off and then start posting. Is that kind of the principle?
Yeah, it pretty much is. And it sounds it sounds kind of insane and like neurotic when you think about it, because it's like, oh my god, you're like, you can't even like waste like um your time in the queue. You have to fill it in with something like productive and stuff, and it goes breaches slightly into like toxic productivity territory. But the thing about creativity is it's a form of self-expression, and therefore it does require an element of you in it. Um, it's not an easy thing to do. I think the bite-sized approach makes creativity easier, but it doesn't necessarily make creativity easy. There is going to be sacrifice, and there is going to be some things you need to change, like looking at your calendar and being super smart about it. And I have a section in bite-sized creativity about like, okay, in practicality, how can you fit in a creative practice in your already busy life? And the solution is deliberate effort and scoping down. So that's, I guess, like the two big things about being about being a bite-sized creative. And it's like, yeah, if you don't have time to um film a YouTube video, then maybe like garnishing your food is like your form of creativity. It's just like that small thing that just that starts like the snowball, I guess,
I
for
see.
a
Okay,
creative
cool.
life. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, one quick question before we go down that route, because I am intrigued about the garnishing.
Yep.
I think you made a really good point about the whole like we don't have to fill every minute, because I think
Yeah.
this is not necessarily a new concept, but it has been very much, it's that you have to fill all your time with something productive. And I think that also makes me just like go, absolutely not. Like there is nothing wrong with me standing in a queue and doing nothing other than staring into space. Right? I don't
No.
need to fill every second. But I think there was a good point in there of like when creativity strikes. It's like I have random thoughts at various times. I just do nothing with them. Like I will start thinking about, like, I can't tell you the amount of times I've gone, oh, that would be a great little article or post or note or whatever or X, and have done nothing with it. Or I've written like a line and then it's just, in the ether, and it never comes back because I never take the next step to flesh it out any further. So, do you have, because I am a systems person, like what would you suggest? Like, okay, so if people want to do this, so whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's writing, like this is a podcast for small creators, so they're going to be creating some kind of content or wanting to.
Yeah.
Whatever that medium is, how does one actually put this into practice? Like, what is the? I mean, I know you've kind of talked about it, but like, if let's do me. What do I need to do? What's my system?
Okay. Your goal is to post weekly?
Yes. Or as
Writing?
and when creativity strikes. Maybe I don't need to have a consistent writing practice, because maybe that holds me to a thing.
Yeah. One thing that strikes me when you were saying all that, and by the way, you should totally write because your writing is great, and
I appreciate
people
that.
love
I
your
disagree.
writing voice. I will disagree. Your disagreement. But like you said, when you said like, oh, you have some ideas and it just goes out into the ether, the simplest practice would literally just be to jot everything down in one place. And you mentioned you are a systems, because I know you. I know that you are a systems person. And you need a system in order to start note taking. So I would actually recommend maybe starting a whole new, or finding a whole new app, because you don't want to interfere with all your existing note taking systems, which I know exist in various places like Apple Notes and stuff. So maybe the case is starting an Evernote account, and then every single idea you have, it's just there.
Yep. And
it's
that's
just
the only thing
log.
there.
Yeah, that's the only thing there. And every time you have a new idea, it's a new note. Like this capturing thoughts parts, I know this is gonna hurt you a little bit, but it has to be messy.
Yeah.
I
It does hurt.
It does. Yeah, there is no such thing as trying to organize a note as you're thinking about it, because the second you're like, oh my god, where do I put this, blah blah blah, and there's
Yeah.
like two steps instead of one, you're gonna lose that idea, or
Yes.
it diminishes the energy you have for that
Yeah.
thing. My god, I sound so woo with this whole like creativity thing. I'm just catching myself. Jeez.
I didn't think you sounded woo.
Okay, cool. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it
no,
diminishes your
I am.
creative idea and your
No,
creative
but I think.
energy.
Okay, well, when
Jeez.
you repeat it, maybe, but like, I get the principle. Like, I think you're right
Yeah.
because it's the friction. If I pick up my
Yes.
phone, I'm gonna. I realized I was doing this earlier today. I picked up my phone to check something, and as we all do, there was a notification on the goddamn screen, and then I was like, "Oh, notifications!" Put the phone back down. It's like, why did I pick up my phone in the first place? So that capture has to be frictionless, but for me, it has to be digital because there's lots of screenshots, or I need to access it from everything. But I like the idea of having a new app because you're right. Then there's nothing else. There's no clutter. And
Yeah.
actually, I've pared mine back. So yes, I do want to get to a point where I'm posting like a newsletter every week or an article or something. But to your point, I need to scale that back because that's just not where I am right now. And I would just love to start posting like I've realized that I can post pictures easily with a caption. So that's what I want to do, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn, because I'm going to be one of those losers on LinkedIn. But like, that's what I want to do. But every time yes, okay, that's a good point. But we're LinkedIn losers.
That's a good name.
LinkedIn losers.
That's a good essay title. BRB.
There you go.
That down.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, you have a capture method. I don't have anywhere to take that down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build an app.
But no, use Google Keep or Evernote. Just one of those. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to open fast on your phone. Which Roam is really, really horrible for opening fast on my phone.
I need to open fast and be able to drop in a screenshot.
Yeah, Evernote or Google Keep. Or a new like Apple Notes folder where it's just like ideas. Or thoughts. And then if you're doing a weekly post, it could literally just be like a roundup of your random thoughts that week. And that's it. It could literally just be bullet points of like LinkedIn losers. And then the next one would be like,
that's so
I want to
I'm
build an app.
No.
Yeah. I want to build an app for note taking. And then the next thought would be like, I don't know, whatever thought you're going to have like in 5 minutes.
Okay.
That you're like, oh my God, I want to jot that down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do this in my journal in day one.
Nah, you're adding too much processes into it. But yeah, this is where I'm like trying to ruthlessly cut you back. Because I'm like, that's the second you're adding steps, it makes a creative practice harder.
But okay, yes, okay, fair. Okay,
yeah,
no, yep, agreed.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Okay, I can't help myself. Okay, let's go back to the garnishing, please. Because I think you had a very valid point that I only just understood. So, yeah, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. Mate, you've got 2 hours a week. Can we just like bring it back? Okay, maybe I should do X. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, learn how to edit in that time. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, you had a point around creativity doesn't need to be what we think it is. So for you, it was cooking, painting, writing.
Yeah.
Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, my whole creative practice actually started with cooking because it was the first time, I guess, since entering the workforce, that I was able to sort of make something with my hands. I wasn't really writing for fun. I did not know how to paint at that point. But cooking was something that I already did every single day. And I was like, okay, what if I just took something that I've already been doing and just put a little spin on it and then just start like making my own stuff and then just start experimenting with ingredients and experimenting with the processes. I'm like, oh, instead of frying it in a pan, can I put it in an air fryer? What does it look like? So it's all these like little tweaks that started to give me confidence and autonomy in what I was doing outside of work. Because ever since up till then, my whole identity was wrapped around like what I did for a living. And I just didn't live outside that. Like if I had free time, then I would just I was a reporter at that time. And there's like a direct correlation between how much time you spend reporting and how good your stories are. So I would spend that time like networking, like going out for drinks with sources, reading up more books to just like be better at my reporting. But cooking wasn't something I had to do every day because I had to eat every day. And then I just started like putting my own spin on it. And that just gave me the confidence to be like, actually, I do have interests and I can explore them. I didn't know what hobbies are, but maybe we'll find out what they are. Um, so that's where the whole garnishing bit comes in.
Okay, wait, talk to me how you got from cooking to where we are now a little bit.
Yeah, I started cooking more, and then so it seems unrelated, but at that time this was COVID, and I was spending so much of my time staring at screens. So it's like work laptop, 9 to 6, and then personal laptop, aka Netflix, 6 to 9. So there was just so much time I was spending at screens, and I was like, I want to do something that is like tactical with my hands. That's not screen related. Cooking was one of them, but I can't spend like 4 hours cooking every single day. Like that's freaking tiring. And also, who's gonna eat all that food? Um, so I just started exploring other like tactical um things to do. And then I stumbled upon painting because I was a writer by trade and by training, and I realized like, oh, I like suck at painting, and therefore I have like no expectations on whether or not I'd be good or not at it. So I just started doing it, and because I had like the confidence of like, oh, I didn't know how to cook before, but now I can cook like several meals, then maybe I could also learn the skill of like, oh, I don't know how to paint, but maybe in like 3 months I can make something that's somewhat resembles the inspiration. So that was seemingly unrelated, but I felt like the confidence carried over.
Yeah, I think that's actually such an important thing because whenever I have like just done something, you naturally get better because you're turning up and you're improving, and it doesn't matter what it is, and you start to get better at the thing, and that naturally will make you more confident in the thing. You're like, oh, I didn't know how to do X, and now I'm doing that. Or when I do 30-day challenges at the start, I'm like, oh my god, it's such a pain in the ass, and by the end, I'm like, this is easy. Like I've got like 12,000 more ideas than I
Yeah.
did when I started. Like where are all these coming from? And that's because you're in motion. Like, and then all of a sudden you open up you almost open up the creativity like tunnel in your head or whatever the bloody hell it is, and you're like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden you're like more creative because you're flexing that muscle. Um, and it's actually okay, I see it. Cooking to painting, painting to YouTube. And that's the journey that everyone should take. Everyone
Yeah.
go garnish your spaghetti. Title of the
Yeah. And
episode.
then next thing you know, you're gonna be like publishing 3 years straight every single week, something like that.
Yeah, I think that is impressive because okay, so you have published every single week on
Yeah.
Substack without
Yeah.
fail, on
Without
time,
fail. On time.
for
Yes. I was
three
like trying to
years.
think if there was an exception. No exceptions. 3 years. Yeah. 158 weeks today.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
impressive.
I think that's 3 years, right?
Okay, what
Yeah.
and wow. Okay, so this is a proven thing. Okay, guys, bite-sized creativity, and you'll be posting every single week.
Yeah. Just
That's the
follow the book.
answer.
You can't go wrong.
Okay, one interesting thing that you said is that when you started painting, you had zero expectations.
Yeah.
Because you already knew you were going to be bad at it, and you were like,
Yeah.
look, this isn't my thing. And I think in the book you have, correct me if I'm wrong, you have 4 saboteurs. I've said
Yes.
that wrong. And I really loved this part of the book. Can you talk to me about said saboteurs and what they are and what they mean?
Yeah, I may have given the saboteur some like fancy names.
Yeah. Shall I reel them off?
One, yes, please, and we can go through
Okay.
them one by one. I can talk about them. I
Yes.
just tried
Can't
to
remember
make it
them? Okay.
as catchy as possible, which
Okay.
not catchy enough, clearly, but
Okay. There's no particular order for these, is there?
no,
Okay. Perfect. Okay, we've got 4. We've got the perfectionist, the utility gremlin, the overcommitter, and the
uh,
plateau ghost. So, the perfectionist.
yeah,
Go on.
the perfectionist is when you just stop doing stuff because you don't think it's going to be good enough. And that is like, I think that's the thing that stops a lot of people from publishing. This is not the thing that stops people from creating, but it stops people from finishing the thing or doing, or even like doing anything, because it's like, oh, I shouldn't even do this because I'm gonna be like so bad at it. Um, and yeah, the one solution to it is like impose a deadline. Um, Another solution to it is like, okay, I'm gonna only work on it for like the next like 5 minutes, and then I'm just gonna let it go. Yeah, there's like a lot of ways to combat this, but basically, it's a work of art. It's a work of creativity. There's no such thing as perfect.
Yep. Okay. Agreed. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right. This one
I
is hard.
it is hard. Like I have so many like failed like paintings that I have in my sketchbook. Which, by the way, like I used to paint on like this small of a thing
Cute.
because this was the only thing that I could paint in like 30 minutes, and anything bigger was just so overwhelming. But just
Mm.
opening to a random page, and I found this. Like, what the heck is that? It's just like some nondescript thing, but it's like, well, it's a page. It didn't go well. Oh well, like next time. That's kind of
Yeah.
the philosophy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just agreeing with all of these things going, I should be more like that. I think this is the thing, like, you're not going to get better if you don't do the thing. So you need to do the thing. Otherwise, like, I think that what do they say? Like, time's going to go by regardless. You either
Yeah,
do the thing and suck at it and then get better, or you just don't do the thing and regret not doing the thing. So,
yeah,
okay, number 1, the
yeah.
perfectionist.
Which I realized, okay, now that you've said that, it relates to I think the last one you mentioned about something about a plateau.
Yes.
Um, it's like there will be a point where also you're gonna keep doing the stuff, and then you're just not gonna get better. Um, this is incredibly frustrating. Um, I think I've done like a few paintings here where I feel like it's not improving. So like there's this one, and it looks really similar to like this one, and it looks similar to like this one. Like it's the same. It looks very samey like skill wise to me. And
Right.
then I got frustrated because I was just like, oh, what's the point of painting um if I'm
If
just
you're
like
not
at the
improving.
same level? Yeah, if I'm not improving and I'm just like plateauing here. Um so this was like, okay, once you get going, like it's not a perfectionist, but it also stops me from doing everything because I'm like, oh, I'm just hitting a wall. And I kind of didn't realize this until gonna plug another thing, but like I put together an art book in
Ugh.
2024. And in it, I scanned, I think it says in the cover, I scanned 526 paintings. And I just picked like 10% of the best ones. Um, and I could kind of see like the journey when I was scanning all of it. Like a lot of the earlier ones didn't make it into the book. But there is like a sort of growth. So it's just like pushing through that plateau and pushing through that lull. Um, which at the end of the day, I guess like whatever you do in terms of creative practice, it is like a craft, and it's just hard to learn a new craft, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that you said that when you started, you literally hadn't painted before, and you've got to the point where you've actually just published an entire book of 10% of your paintings, which is kind of cool. Um,
Self-published. Again, I
yeah, okay.
bite-sized
Well,
creativity. I'm like, I can't be bothered to find a real printer, so I just did it myself.
okay. I think that's fair. I don't think that diminishes the achievement in any way. Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. I have a question on the plateau ghost.
Yeah.
So if you aren't improving,
Yeah.
is it a case of you need to find other ways to improve, or is it a case of that shouldn't stop you from doing anyways? Like, because again,
Mm,
like pulls it back into, well, do you need to constantly be improving? Because if you're enjoying it and it's a hobby and it's a creative outlet, do you
yeah.
always have to be improving?
No, you don't have to always be improving. But if you are frustrated about not improving, this is when I started reaching out to other painter friends. I started taking art classes, because I just
Mm.
couldn't see how I was not improving, and then having more of an expert or having like an outside eye um is really great because then it could they could tell me what I could improve on. But I feel like it's also crucial to not do this like too early on, because I was when I sought help and critique, I was already at a place where I could take it. But if
Yeah.
somebody looked at my first painting and was like, "Hey, that sucks and that's really ugly," I don't think I would have continued painting. So there's like also something about knowing when you're ready to seek like outside feedback and have
Yeah.
people comment on your stuff. That's why like some people turn off comments on Substack, and I think that's totally valid.
Oh, good point. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, we've got Which way shall we go? Okay, you choose. We've got the utility gremlin and the overcommitter.
Yeah. Okay. Utility gremlin, I guess, is how I first started like questioning this whole creativity thing, because I had, again, with like the whole like, oh my god, you must optimize every single minute of your productivity. I was sort of questioning like, why am I spending time painting when there's no use? Like cooking, at least there's a use, like it fills somebody up. But painting is like a completely, utility wise, it's got like no use in the world. Um like, why would anybody buy a painting apart from the fact that it looks pretty? Like, it just looks pretty, that's it. Or it evokes emotion, whatever that's worth. Um but I just like remind myself that we tune into songs anyway, we watch movies anyway, so we gravitate towards art and creative expression anyway. So utility is not the point of creativity. I think that just is a reframe that I still sometimes have to deal with, because like as of now I have not been painting for over a year, and a big part of it is because I just said like, oh, there's no use for it, and my time is better off used elsewhere.
Wait, how do those two things tie up? Is that not a contradiction?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
not?
it's
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm saying like I'm currently in utility gremlin
Oh, you
stage
have.
because
Okay, you have
yeah,
utility gremlin.
I have it.
I see.
It's in
Okay.
me. Yeah.
Oh no. How does one get rid of utility gremlin?
Mm. I think it's just
Is it
spending,
that, or
yeah.
do you not want to paint right now? Like, what do you get from painting?
Yeah, so okay, so I guess like my perception of not painting currently is it's just I'm just more excited by other things at the moment. That's what I'm telling myself, at least.
Yep.
But part of it is also like, okay, I'm not gonna do like there's no use for painting. I've kind of gone over that a little bit, because within painting I've sort of realized that, okay, it's a really nice way to enjoy and take it into a new place. Um we were on a trip a couple weeks ago, and there were like, I think, 2 moments when we were just kind of chilling and waiting, and I just started like sketching in my field notes. It's just a nice way to observe your surroundings and stuff, and I really enjoy that, noticing and taking the moment to sort of print whatever I see into a sketchbook. um and I'm like, there's no use for it, but I just enjoy it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think what the antidote to utility gremlin is joy, self-expression. Like if I've had like several Substack posts where the purpose of writing the thing was I just needed to get it out of my chest, and it was a cathartic experience to write out my feelings in a narrative. Like that for me is worth it. Like, does it solve poverty that I write a Substack post? No.
No,
But that's
sorry.
kind of not the point. Yeah,
Sorry, can you try
unfortunately.
harder with your Substack post, please?
Yeah, for it to become a meal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should sell your Substack posts, and every sale feeds someone.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds like a business, like a horrible business.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, it's not. No, it's not a business. It's a charity, but
It's
it
chatty.
does change the dynamic of exactly what you're doing. Okay,
Yeah.
scratch that. Okay, the last one, the overcommitter.
Yeah. This is trying to commit to a big project and trying to do too many things at once. So this requires a little bit of self-awareness of how much you can realistically do, and not trying to moonshoot it. I'm not trying to go overboard. So one example of this is actually when we started a podcast. I think I had floated to you like once a month or something. I was like, I don't want a weekly podcast. It's just once a month. And I think you pushed back and you were like once every 2 weeks or something. No, actually we did start once a month.
No, we started once a month. I was like,
We started once a month.
I was, because I am very much in the podcast weekly. So I was
Yeah.
just like, podcast, let's do it weekly. And you were like, I don't want to speak to you that much. Let's do monthly. And I was like, oh, That's sad. But actually good. And I think that was
Yeah, now I
absolutely the
like
right
you
decision.
enough to speak to you twice a month.
Twice. Yeah. Now I'm privileged to yeah. Weekly still not on the horizon. But yeah,
No.
I think it was absolutely the right choice to do once a month. Like, and we did once a month for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we got up and running and we set up the systems and we knew that we had a flow and we're like, oh, we can do this. And we're like, oh, actually, we absolutely can now move to once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the pressure was off and we knew that was okay. And we haven't recorded a podcast in 6 weeks now because that wasn't the right time. So we just pressed pause. There was no like, oh, well, we have to, or we have to find the time. We're like, no, you know something? We're just not feeling it. We're going to take a little break. And now we're back. And now we're recording because we want to. So yeah.
Yeah. This podcast is also like a creative expression that we both have because we just can't stop yapping about doing creatory things. And so it just felt important to me that we take it at a pace that we're comfortable with, that it's not at a place where we're just like, oh, we have to do this every single week. Because that would defeat the whole purpose and the whole joy of doing this podcast to begin with.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. And I think that was one of the reasons why I haven't touched my OG podcast in like 3 years. Because it got to the point. Weekly is hard. But what I did is that I overcommitted. It wasn't to turning up once a week and recording a podcast. It was because I turned it into something bigger than it needed to be. And I overcommitted. And I was like, oh, I can do all of these things. And all of a sudden it had to be like a pro podcast versus had I just carried on, I would have had like this incredible backlog and I would have still been doing it. And but anyway, that's okay. We live in that.
I feel like you feel this a lot from me because you are always like, oh my God, let's do this for Small Creator Big World. And I'm always like, no.
And you're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I always shoot you down. But the reason is always like every time it feels too big to do it, I'd rather not do it than sully the fun of doing this.
Yep. Agreed. And I think that has kept us sustainable. So thank you for being the person that's like, no. Because a year later we're still going. And hopefully we'll still be here in a few years' time.
Isn't it insane?
In that time,
we've done this for a year.
It's crazy. But also like, it was YouTube sent me a notification. Was it last week? I think that was like, it's your 1 year like YouTube channel anniversary. I was like, oh damn, that's kind of cool. Like neither of us wanted to do this for money. You're right, it was a creative outlet. But in that time, hopefully we're better in a year's worth of podcasting. We've gone from monthly to fortnightly. Well, yes, but you know. So we've gone from once a month to every 2 weeks. And we've started a little community, which is kind of cool. We run office hours every 2 weeks. And we even did our first workshop a couple of weeks ago. So baby steps. And I think that's been really, really cool. And we have a newsletter, so we post you write, but we post a newsletter every week. We publish a YouTube video every 2 weeks, a podcast, and we publish, well, except for the last few weeks, and we host an office hours every other week. And all of our future plans are, well, they're all waiting for you to say yes. But we'll do it slowly, and we'll make sure we can sustain it. Bite-sized creativity.
It's a bite creativity approach to this whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, you're good at this. That's why you wrote a book about it. That makes sense. Okay. Okay.
I just have so much to say about this. I really need to get it across. Yeah.
I think it's working. I thoroughly enjoyed the book, I have to say. Is there anything that you want to call out that we haven't touched on before we carry on?
Oh, no, nothing in particular. You're a pretty good interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I'm not, but thank you. And okay, so obviously our audience is small creators, as we've said.
Yep.
Some haven't started, some have. What advice, if anything, do you have for them? How could they apply this? Who is this really for? Because I guess it's not for those that are turning up week in, week out and publishing. This is for the, I guess, this is going to sound mean, but I don't mean it, but the wannabe creators like me, right? Like I want to create and I keep starting and then stopping and kind of falling off a cliff. And is like, what would you, I guess we already did me, but yeah, what if anything would you like to call out, or any advice, or other than obviously go read your book?
Um, wait, who is this book for, or what advice I have for these people?
Both. Both or
Okay.
either.
Okay, so this book I wrote with my corporate colleagues and friends in mind. These are people who um kind of jaded with their work, kind of don't feel any agency over their life, and they at the same time they want to start a creative practice. So this book is like a how to approach it where you actually don't need to sacrifice your work or anything in order to be creative. These are the people I had in mind. Um, and the advice to them is really just take whatever you want to do and just break it down. Like break it down until it feels like ridiculous to not do it. Um, I think it's a bit ridiculous to say that, oh, I can't write a word in my notes app. Um, currently in this conversation as I'm talking to you because it's too much or something. Like it just needs to feel um it just needs to be small enough that it feels manageable. And I think people always have these like lofty ideas of like, oh my god, I want to whenever I talk to like people in corporate and everything, I think because they want to have like such an antidote to their corporate life, they're always just like, oh my god, I want to have like 100K followers on Instagram. But it's like, okay, but you do that by one post at a time. That's how you build up a following. And if a YouTube video is too long, then record a 30-second short. If a 30-second short is too long, then take a photo. If taking a photo is too hard, then write something and take a screenshot of something. And that's how you just like keep scoping it down to a point where it's like, you know what? Actually, it's fine. I can post something every day if that's something they want to do. Um, but yeah, just scoping down. I think people don't scope down enough. I think that's what's keeping people like holding people back. They're like, oh, I'm instead of a YouTube long form, I'm going to post a 30-second reel, but I'll do it every day. Like that's not where you want to start. You want to start just one with like no recurring frequency. Just post one.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Yeah, sorry. I was just thinking to earlier in the episode where you had an idea for a thing and you wrote it down, and I have had 2 ideas, I think, during this thing, and they've gone nowhere. And therefore, you will create a post and write something, and I will do nothing with it. But it
Dear
makes me want to
LinkedIn
post.
losers,
Yeah.
hop in. We're going shopping.
Yeah. Okay. Final one to finish on. How do you stay consistent though? So say I all right, I took your advice. I'm like, okay, we're lowering the bar, bite-sized creativity. I'm literally just going to take a photo once we're done and just be like back on recording the pod or something, and post it to
Yeah.
Instagram. But what is going to make me like do that consistently? Like I don't need to
Yeah.
set a thing that, hey, I need to post a picture somewhere every day. Like it doesn't need to have that constraint or that that level, but how, and it doesn't have to be a system, but what is the thing, if anything, to stay consistent?
Yeah, not gonna lie, this is where the neuroticism comes in. And to be consistent, you need to be disciplined. And to be disciplined, to make it easy, you just need to set up a system. So this is where
Okay.
after you get started and you start to get a feel of, okay, what is worth my time pursuing, or what you have decided is worth your time pursuing. Um, and then you kind of need to build a system around it because you can't, especially like in where everybody's just trying to tell you that you need to do an ice bath and a sauna and exercise like 4 days out of 7 and sleep 8 hours a week and socialize and stuff. You just kind of need to figure out where you can fit in 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes into your day to do something that you care about. um but yeah, this is where all the productivity advice actually applies to creativity.
Yeah.
um because I guess circling back to what we said in the beginning. Oh, that was very corporate. um Going back to what we
Let's
said in the
circle back.
beginning, let's circle back. Let's oval back to the beginning, because we took some detours.
Let's rectangle back.
Let's rectangle back because we keep pivoting. um it's not easy to keep pursuing creativity. but it's if you decide that it's worthwhile, then it does require a little bit of give.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I do like the thing you said earlier though. Like creativity isn't necessarily what we always default to thinking. Like I don't have to post on LinkedIn every week to tick the creativity box. I could just take more joy in garnishing my pasta. It won't be that. But you know, the small things or okay, so travel journaling. Turns out love. And maybe that is my creative outlet. And maybe that is all I need in the world and I don't have to put other content out into the world. But I think you have a point that if you are, then maybe you do need to be a bit more disciplined. But I do find that discipline comes naturally the more you do it.
Yes, it becomes easier each time.
Yeah.
Which is part of the thing where like now that I've done like 3 years worth of weekly posting, like it's not hard for me to write another post next week. It's still a lift and some weeks are heavier than others. But because I committed to this writing whole thing as a craft, so I'm going to do it. But at the same time, it's also, so like the last part of the book is talking about creative seasons. And there just is like different seasons for different things. Like if life is currently busy, then you don't have to record a podcast every single week. Like the last couple of weeks were really busy for us. And that's why I was just like, you know what? It doesn't, like this is not consequential. We don't have to show up every single week. It's fine. And then we just stop recording for 6 weeks. There are things that, like when I started this job with being like a YouTube producer, I decided like actually painting is not what I want to focus on right now because I want to focus on all my energy into figuring out how I can do a good job here. So I didn't like quit it. I'm just like, okay, I'm just not touching painting for a while, and I'll figure out when I want to restart that practice.
I think that's a very good point. Actually, that's a great point to end on because I think seasons are incredibly important. I think, and this links into the consistency thing as well. Like you could be consistent for 3 months and then take a 3-month break. Like you're still consistent. Then come back and do another 3 months. So you could go hard for like a little bit and then take your foot off the gas and then like go hard again. Like it doesn't have to be, I need to post every week and turn up every week. In a year, I could be like, and I think someone said this with my podcast way back in the day. They're like, do seasons. You know, do a sprint for X amount of weeks, record everything, and then sit back for a little bit. Again, for me, blowing up was never my aim. It was more the outlet and the enjoyment that I got from it. And I think, I guess that is the difference of if you want to kind of blow it up or build it or grow it like substantially, then that does require a higher level of discipline and commitment. But I think fundamentally bite-sized creativity still works. And I think actually going back to who this is for, I know you mentioned corporates, but it is the people, and we've talked about this in terms of like who our audience is for Small Creative Big World. It's not necessarily the people that want to blow up. It's the people that just want to make content or have a creative outlet and just want to turn up every so often. And it's just giving them a little nudge.
Yeah, I think also ultimately this is written for people who want to have a little bit more control over their life, who feels like, oh, their lives has just been so overridden by work. And I feel like one way to claim agency is to make something of your own. But it's really hard to do something on your own full time, so just do it for like 10 minutes a day. And that's often enough to feel like, you know what, I have this pocket of time that I have like full control over. And therefore I'm going to spend it doing something that really, really excites me.
Yep. I love it. And I'm a big fan of like the first hour of the day is for you. But like that could be the first 10 minutes of the day. Like the hour is like kind of relevant. You know, do something for yourself first. And then it doesn't matter if you spend the rest of the day working because you've done whatever makes you happy. So you could go out and like sketch for 10 minutes a day and be like, oh, that's cool. Even if I spend the rest of the day working, I've ticked that kind of that box. Nice. Okay, that's a very good note to end it on. Shall we do little updates because it's been a while before we wrap?
It has. What's been going on in your life for the last 6 weeks?
Oh God.
What hasn't been going on in your life for the last 6 weeks?
Oh my God. No, that makes it sound way more interesting than it was. So I came to see you in Hong Kong.
What?
I know. And I do love that we don't
flight.
record a post. Oh, it was a long ass flight. I do love that we don't record a podcast when we're in person. We're like, no, that's too heavy of a lift.
Somebody doesn't want to sit in the same place with one camera.
It's weird. So maybe if you'd gone into the office and I'd stayed back, then that could have worked. Anyway, what else has been happening? I've posted nothing.
You took a break.
I took a break. Took a break. Still working. Side hustling. I know. Oh, Claude Code. Claude Code has been fun. Another step up in the last couple of weeks, building web apps. And yeah, I built like dashboards. So I built like an hours tracker for like my client work at the moment. I built an invoice tracker. I built an affiliate reporting tool for one of my clients.
Look at you go.
I know. Okay, I totally understand the obsession, and it just took me a little while to get there. But it's so cool. So I'm having a lot of fun. So basically, my update is travel and Claude Code.
Nice. That's a solid
yours?
6 weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I even read anything. So yeah. Anyway,
you read my book. That was the only thing you read.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I read Bite Size Creativity. Guys, link in the description below. Go get your copy. It's like $10. So like $10, guys. Go pick it up.
Thank you. Yeah, my updates. Well, we paused the pod, but we didn't really pause all other like small creator stuff. So we kept up with the office hours.
Yeah.
We even hosted a Claude Code workshop for like for small creators, or Claude Code workshop for beginners. So we did that a couple weeks ago. We had a lot of fun. But big update, which I'm really burying the lead here, is I quit my job. So
what?
Yeah, this is I'm overhauling my life
to me.
yet again. Complete news to you.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Everything is really up in the air. So if you want to follow along, like semi not live, but kind of live, but not really live, just tune into the pod.
Yeah.
Everybody,
and if you want to follow in live, then follow LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I guess that's accurate. Yeah, everybody's been asking me like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited! What are you gonna do next?" And I'm like, "Me too. I also want to know." Like,
you'll figure it out. We all figured it out. Take a little break.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. You're right. We did bury the lead.
Yeah.
Big update.
Well, I'm still working there, so it's not like I quit. Well, I quit.
No.
I handed in my notice, but I'm still working there until like a month and a half more. So it kind of still hasn't hit me because it's still like I'm still doing the same things every single day. I think the day after I handed in my notice, I was just like, it feels like any other work day because I'm still doing all the things.
Yeah, it'll hit you when you leave, obviously.
Oh yeah, when I wake up one Monday and it's like, oh, I don't have a Slack message to read because what is Slack?
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, team. I think we will leave it there. I think we've plugged everything enough already. So links to everything in the description. We'll be back in a couple of weeks as usual. We should be back on a normal posting schedule soon. If you haven't already, sign up to the newsletter. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. Now go hit publish.